Vincent van Gogh's portrait of Dr. Gachet, considered today to be a great and important work of art, but thought ugly and negative by Adolf Hitler, who had it removed from public view in the 1930s, along with thousands of other modern artworks he considered degenerate that hung in museums across Germany. He was particularly scornful of expressionistic artists like Emil Nolde and Henri Matisse, who, in his opinion, distorted reality. Anyone who sees and paints a sky green and fields blue, he said, ought to be sterilised. Tomorrow, the only surviving complete ledgers of these confiscated works will be made available to the public for the first time. The books are held here at the National Art Library at the V&A in London. Here they are, two rather dull, innocuous-looking ledgers. Until, that is, you open them up, where it says Entartete Kunst, meaning degenerate art, and lists all the museums throughout Germany from which the Nazis took art off the walls. And then you come to the abbreviations page. T for swapped, V for sold, and X for destroyed.
It's such a systematic list. It was drawn up under such careful conditions. It's very difficult to imagine how it was done while the war was going on. But nevertheless, they did, and they did it in a very organised manner. And for me, it has echoes of what also happened to people.
For every artwork sold, there is the identity of the person who bought it. In a few instances, it was the opportunistic Goering, but in page after page, one name leaps out at you. Gurlitt, whose son Cornelius was discovered last November to be sitting on a hoard of around 1,400 artworks handed down to him by his father, some of which, it turns out, are likely to be listed in the ledgers. The Nazis held an exhibition of degenerate art in order to ridicule the art and the museum directors who displayed it, having, on occasion, borrowed the work from private collectors.
People who loaned to museums, very often their records were destroyed by the Nazis as well, but because they were persecuted. And so the museums hold the records that could provide the evidence as to what they owned and where it went.
The Nazis didn't limit their purge to art. They also burnt books they considered to be anti-German and degenerate. For the pictures that survived this orchestrated destruction and have yet to be returned to their rightful owners, the publication of the V&A's ledgers could prove to be extremely helpful. Will Gompertz, BBC News.